Hi, welcome to another session of Zentangle Snippet of a Pattern. This I had played yesterday in my live Instagram session. So it's a lovely pattern called Sistar. So we will play around with that, and I will show you the different ways to play with it, and what I've played also. Uh, so it's a very simple pattern. So before we start, so this is a Zentangle tile which we use. The tool what we use is a Zentangle uh, tile, which is a 3.5-inch tile, and we use Sakura pens. We use a graphite pencil by the Zentangle and a stub. So if you do not have the Sakura pen or the graphite pencil from the Zentangle or the Sakura branded one, you can use any normal pencil of a normal graphite pencil or a pen which doesn't bleed, which doesn't blot on your paper. It's good to use. And any of the either the stub or a tortillon or a earbud, you can use. The pencil and the stub is used primarily for giving a three-dimensional effect and a smoothing and a magic to your art form. So let's start. So we will do a small practice. So I'm just going to show the practice out here. So this is what we practice. This is the pattern called Sistar, and it's by Hanny Waldberger. So so this is a lovely one pattern which she is talking about. We have blood sister. So this is someone who is not your blood sister, but you have the same kind of relationship. So it's like your sister whom you have a relationship like a heart and soul. So that's what she calls it as a sister, is that. So this pattern is primarily like a grid. What I'm going to demonstrate it is, what I will show you on the practice is a pattern with a grid and a free flowing, which is line as a reference. What we will create on the main one, I will be showing you with the free flowing. So how does it work? Is a grid. Just draw a square grid, and you can keep repeating these grids, right? So you can keep repeating this grid. So what we will do is, we will draw, if you feel comfortable we can do this. So just draw a line like this and draw a line like this, so that when you do a 4 grid you will get another floral one. So if you see the line, the pencil line is very light. Now what we'll draw, we will draw this. This is called as a rice pearl. Right? So we will do another rice pearl out here, and we will be connecting these rice pearl with a line. And then what we will do, we will draw a aura line, a parallel line to this and to this, and another one, right? And then we'll draw an arc joining it. So you have a smaller rice pearl which gets connected by a bigger rice pearl. That's how the pattern is. And you could do another aura of this. This is just a variation, right? This one, in these spaces you can do anything. So you can just draw a big orb and a small orb. Now if you're doing this, then I wouldn't want you to draw another orb here. You can just draw another small, like this, something which is like an inner one, and then you can just ink it up. Why do we suggest that we use a right Sakura pen? Because the work what you do, you need to archive it and last for long. So this is what. So I'm using a normal gel pen, which is a classmate pen which you get in India for 20 rupees. It's good enough to just to practice. But if you want to store and use your thing, tile for storage and for future, or gifting to someone, then using the Sakura is very good. Now what I'm going to do is, I've drawn the orbs. Instead of this, I've drawn it inside, and I'm just going to ink it up of the space. right? And this space, what I can do is I can keep doing aura this way, or I will do an aura from this end to this end, lines, just lines like this. I just draw a line like this, and I just thicken it up at the end. Just give a thickening to the end, right? So you can do a lot. So on either way we can do. So this is just a demonstrate. So this is one way of doing on one side and repeating it also the same way, or doing this on this way and this and repeating on it. So the same way what you can do is, the reason is that if you do this way and going up and down and this is like down and this, you will get a nice pattern together. So now we'll repeat the same thing out here. Just going to do an aura. Just doing an aura out here. Just another aura. And then we're doing the arc. And then we're doing that. Now what I'm going to do is another aura. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just repeat this out here. So it's going to be an orb out here. I'm just going to ink the space. Just to reflect what it happens, right? And the same one what out here, just drawing lines and just thickening the edge, just giving a little, that's different, right? So can you see how the pattern will get formed? That's what I was trying to tell you. So here I'm going to just do a right, and we're just going to do the bigger orb out here and bigger orb out here. So this is the grid version. The line version is that what we did here, I'm not going to use this grid, square grids. I'm just going to draw a line, right? So in whichever direction you want to do, you could do the line, and we're just going to draw the same thing. Now we're doing it free flow without having a grid for you as your reference. We're going to use line as your reference. Right? And I'm going to use this. We could do a lot of stuff, so I'm just going to use orbs inside. So you can just play back and see what I'm doing it, pause and see it, right? So we will be doing this in a repeated fashion. So if you see lines, what do I mean by lines? When you're drawing a line, draw strings. We call this as a string as a reference. We do light, we don't draw this dark, we draw this light, just that because it's just a reference. So we're going to use this free flowing and create a pattern swatch. I'm using a small tile which is 2 inch, which we call it as a bija. So I'm just going to use that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil as my reference, and I'm going to draw the string, the same string as what we've used in the bigger tile. So I'm just going to do I will see if I'm going to do 5 or a 4, right? How the space comes in. So I'm going to just change my pen. I'm going to use a 03 pen, which is a little thing. I'm going to draw this as my reference, and I'm going to go to the corner, and I'm going to join these two. Right, and I'm going to do another aura, and I'm going to do another aura. Okay, and I'm just going to draw the arc out here, right, and then we will do the inner one later. Now what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do this another one out here, but here, since this is on the top, so you will only do the half of the pearl. The full pearl will not be done, only the half pearl will be done. We do everything the same, just that we, till what we have the space, we go ahead and do it off. Right, now we're going to do another one here. Right, and then what we're going to do is, again, right, so we'll continue doing it. So that's why it's a repeated stroke, right? So it kind of makes you focus and concentrate, which helps a lot, and that's how you get to do your mind is occupied, and that gets into a meditative state. Right, so we're going to just do the aura. Right, so we will do another one out here. Since when you overwrite on the string which we draw it with a pencil, which is your reference, if you're drawing it in dark, do it only if you're going to you're going to draw with the inking it up. Otherwise the pencil mark will be there, so will leave. So that kind of makes your pattern look, so avoid doing it really dark. The string which is with the pencil, right? So can you see that it's a free flow? So I'll show you how a grid pattern would have looked. When you draw with a grid, I can show you another example. Right, so now what we'll do is we will draw a aura to this particular space every way. Right, every way we will draw an aura to this particular, so what I call it as a petal, of, because that's a single pattern which we're repeating it. So that single pattern what we're repeating it, I'm just making it as easy reference as a petal. Right. Right. So now what we'll do is go in and fill it with orbs. You can do with how much ever orbs you want to fill it, you can do it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the orbs. I'll come back and ink it with a different pen, which will take my lesser time to ink it up, because that will be a little broader ink pen, so I will be using that. So now what I'm doing is I'm just drawing the orbs. You can finish one pattern and then do it. What I do is I keep sometimes some of the patterns, I end up doing the same strokes together, like I'm doing all these orbs together, so that it's a repeat one and I will be able to focus more and concentrate. So that I can concentrate on it. Right here. Right, so just going to make it another orb. So if just fit in how much ever you can. Could be a full orbs or a small orbs. The numbers need not be the same. That's fine. If they're uniform, it's good. If they're not, then fine, because it's just going to be look different. That's it. Right, so we've done it. Now I'm going to just use a little broader ink pen, and I'm just going to ink up all the space, so it's easier for me to do it. See, the inking makes the bigger difference. So I'm just going to ink it up. Right? So I have this small space. Right, so we just go keep inking it up. And this kind of the inking also is so pleasant and so calming, and really relaxes your mind and makes you really comfortable. And right, and if you see that I keep rotating my tile, that's really right way to do it, or we would say that that's the most comfortable way to do it, because it gives you, because your hand is your hand is comfortable. It's just that your tile keeps rotating, and you don't strain yourself. That's the beauty of Zentangle, is people are not able to understand, because so take a class from a certified Zentangle teacher to learn the technique and the methodology, because they've been taught by the creator of this art form, Maya and Rick. So we've been taught by Maya and Rick, who are the creator of this beautiful art form, and we've been taught the methodology. Right? So if you see that, see. So if you see these two, I have not inked it up. So can you see the difference? Now when we shade it, it will give you another different effect. Now what I'm going to do is one more, I will show you another tile, and then I will do another work to this after I do the shading. So you can see that the drama of inking gives to the work. You see that? It's so beautiful, right? Now what we'll do is I'm going to use my graphite pencil, and I'm going to do on the outer side, all the outer side of these petals. On one side first I'm doing it, so it's the rhythmic way of doing it. So can you see this part is shaded? So can you see the difference happening out here? Now we're going to do, because this is the start of the petal, right? So your cyclic stops here. Now we're going to take our stub, and where we did the, just going and shading it up. See, just pulling it up using the stub. Also, if you remember, you should remember that when your stub has got these graphite, if they are too much, then your blending will not happen. So you need to sharpen this. So you have to use a sandpaper and sharpen it. That's also is one important thing you need to remember. So can you see that beautiful thing? Now I'm going to show you something which is without the shading. So can you see the difference? So I'm just going to keep this in the center, right? Just going to keep this in the center, and this is shaded. Now see the unshaded one. So can you see the difference between the shaded and the unshaded? And I will show you another tile what we created yesterday. See, this is a completed one, the more of shading and everything. And this is another way. Instead of 2 sets on layering, we did only 1 set, right? And this is another grid version. So the one what I showed you in the pattern was the practice one. So you draw one box, you draw another box, we draw, so we bought, and then we did this. So this is like a ribbon. So this was done with a grid, this is with line as a reference, and this is also line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show a little more how we did this. So this is similar to what we did on our this particular card. So we did, so I'm just going to just rephrase. So what we did a line which is across, right, and across from here, and then we did a line across. So we did this. So we did basically, I'm going to just show how we did the line across. This is there on my IGTV, my Instagram, so you can follow my Instagram. But there was a little glitch because of the cyclone in Bombay, so that's why I'm out here. I'm drawing it out here, and the complete one I'm just showing for them the reference. So with that, so that was the reference for us to do the inner one. Then what we did, once we have done with the inner one, between these two we drew a line, between these two we drew a line, and between these two we drew a line, and between these two we drew a line. So that's how we are getting the outer one. Now I will just demonstrate the outer one now. So we're going to do a line, a pearl out here, and we're going to join the pearl, and then we're going to do the same thing, nothing different. Just the way you orient your strings and lines, you're going to get different results. That's why we say Zentangle is, you can play around so much, you can create so much of variation, and it's an abstract kind of no up and down. So you can join my basic one or the advanced classes to learn more methodology, techniques of Zentangle, and how you want to enjoy it, the color technique, right? So we're just going to draw the petal, the outer. I'm not going to complete it because we would not be able to finish it. So what I'm going to do is going to draw right, and we're going to do a aura of this. Right, same way we're going to do an aura of this. Because I want to show the shading out here. Because this tile actually would become I would be using a color to it to give a different finish. So I'm just inking it up. Right, so just inking it up. Just inking it up, nothing much I'm doing it, I'm just inked it up, right? Now what I'm going to do is use the same pencil, and this is the graphite pencil, and I'm going to do the same way what we did on the practice, that one side I'm going to do graphite. See, as I do the graphite, right, so if you can see it, I'm just doing each of those petals. each of these petals I'm doing it. Right. So I'm just going to do this, just going to pull it up. Just going to pull it up, and we do the shading right at the end. Now just I'm going to show it, so I'm doing it mid while I'm not completed this part. So can you see the difference? And we do the shading out here, just the outer edge on this part. So we repeat it, so we get this beautiful tile at the end, right? And what I did also was in the session was that the outer one I just inked it up, I mean graphited it a little on the one side of the orbs inside. Only one side I did a graphite, and leaving it here like this itself, it looks good, but I just used a little more to smoothen it up, and that's it. Right, so this is the beautiful pattern called sistar. So we took nice deep breaths, and we focused, and we did a practice, and then we created this small card and swatch card of the pattern, and then I showed you what I did yesterday on my Instagram live session, and I just redid the one and I demonstrated which would be completed, and I gave you different references which you can do it with the same pattern out here. Right, so hope you guys enjoyed, and you watch my Insta live full, which I will be uploading it also onto the YouTube. It's there on my YouTube link, so you can watch that, and you could watch this where you're missing it on because of the technical glitch on my Insta live. You can watch it out here to know how the shading and everything. So hope you guys enjoyed. See you. And like I say on the best before my video, I have a thing which says that this is a copyright. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. This video is sole proprietorship and ownership. I have it from the Zentangle, so no further use of this session of my video for commercial or anything. You can create and share the tile what you do it, and tag me if you're doing it on my any of the social media. Tag me with me on my Instagram handle, or you can do it Tangle with Maya. The reference is there on the description. Just watch it around. Ciao, see you.